Keeping excellence in mind, where the coach can unwind. And if you parents need advice, well, don't think twice. For everything you need to know, it's the Dr. Casey Show. The Dr. Casey Show.
All right, so today I'm talking about genetic testing and the ability to give your child an oral swab and get back results on whether or not your child is best suited for a power sport, an endurance sport, or somewhere in between, and what exactly that all means. So I wanted to have a conversation with a local coach, a local elite athlete, someone who's really on the pulse of parenting in South Orange County. And so I called my friend, Coach Ruben Carell, who is a native of the area, a former professional ball player, and is currently coaching at a very high level for our youth in baseball. Welcome to the Dr. Casey Show, Coach Ruben.
Thank you, Dr. Casey. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. Because I knew that you'd have some really important things to say about this topic. And can you believe that there's even a test that exists that does this?
You know, the nature of competitive youth sports as it is today, it's a gradual progression towards the edge of the cliff, and I think this one right here was a nice little
progression towards the edge of a cliff. That's so vivid and perfect.
Yeah.
But you and I see it all. You and I see it all. Now, as a former player, would you have wanted to take? And let's say, pretend you had a choice. And you could ask your parents, Mom, Dad, would you have wanted to take this test?
Probably, because I probably would have thought that, hey, it's going to come out in my favor. And I had that dream of playing professional baseball since I was a little boy. And as I grew up, into school and high school and all that, I had enough people telling me that I would never make it to begin with. So why would I listen to some goofy test? But again, just to find out, I was just very curious to find out if it would really come out as,
right.
I should have played baseball. So
now I wonder what a baseball profile even looks like on this marker, since it's kind of a combination of both a power sport at times and then an endurance sport at others.
It's really hard to pinpoint exactly the tools and skills that you would need to be an elite baseball player at the age of 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's so many facets of the game and factors in hitting a pitch or throwing a ball or making a ball move or judging an outfield fly that one genetic test can't really predetermine the path of your athletic life. I don't see it that way.
Right. Now, what emotional impact? Now, we're just speaking about for you, for your, what you feel and what you believe. Let's say it hadn't come back as a match. Let's say they told you, you've got a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, my friend, and you really need to take a serious look at track and field. What would that have done to your identity, if anything?
At that moment in time, if you guys had ever seen me run before, you would know that track and field was definitely not going to be my best subject.
Let's just
pretend. The test told me to do this. Well, a test told me that I excelled in English. I didn't become an English major in college. I mean, you basically do what you love to do, and I think that's abundance in life comes from doing what you love to do, and I think that shouldn't really stop anybody from wanting to perform and hone and enhance their ability to perform at a high level.
Now, so passion would have just trumped everything for you.
I wanted to be a baseball player.
Right.
Guys want to be football players. Other people want to do what their brother did or what their neighbor did or what their parents do. I mean, you have that emotional connection to sports in your life as you grow up, and to have a parent come back to you and say, no, we don't want you to be a swimmer like me, because it shows that you have these fast twitch fibers that better suit you to football. So
well, now you're going where I'm worried with it, is this conflict potentially between parents saying, well, we spent the money on this test and this profiling, and we just don't see the point in spending time on this other thing that you might really love to do, but it's not going to take you to that elite Olympic or collegiate dream that your body's best suited for. How do you see this playing out with families? Because this test is brand new. It's just on the market. And you and I both know that regardless of what we say, there's going to be parents who cannot help themselves, and they're going to go out and get it. What does this set up for the family dynamic?
You know, how could you say, first of all, how do you tell your kid that they shouldn't do something? How do you tell your kid not to live up to their hopes and dreams? How not to really take something that they love to do and then go and help them, their their children, enhance that experience for them? I mean, I just don't see very many parents that are willing to do that at this point.
You and I both seen parents do some bizarre things. And in my office, I have children that come in regularly who talk about being pressured to play a sport that they're no longer passionate about, but the parents are passionate about it.
But usually they don't want to play the sport because of the parent, not because of their enjoyment or lack of enjoyment. Usually the lack of enjoyment in this case comes from the parent making, the sport unenjoyable for that kid.
Exactly.
So in this case, again, it would be the parent undermining the enjoyment or the experience of their child.
Right. So, but that conflict then becomes real in the way it gets played out at home between the kids complaining and then the parents, expressing this, it's for your own good kind of thing.
I see the kids that I coach are ages 12 and 13, and that's a very precarious time in their youth, and they're right about forming their own opinions and personalities about a lot of things in life. And to have a negative experience with either a coach or a parent or another player can really set a really wacky precedence in the mind of that kid.
Yeah.
And it could totally skew their opinion or approach or their viewpoint on the rest of their lives because they are unhappy with their parent or their coach or whatever. So it's very important that we listen to those kids.
They're never unhappy with you.
Oh, come on now.
I've got a lot of 12 and 13. That is one of the most difficult developmental ages with the transitions, and they're supposed to be testing the limits at every opportunity. And bless you. You got to have a heart of gold to work with that age group every day. So
I enjoy what I do. That's for darn sure. That's for sure.
Now as a coach, let's think for a moment about what this test could provide to take a team to the next level. Is there any temptation with your coaching hat on, if you're not thinking about the development and the emotional well-being side? Any temptation there to say,
no,
maybe we should test
my
our
teams that I coach are built differently in that I don't go out and recruit. The other teams out there, they'll go out and they'll know that this kid plays great and they'll want to, hey, come play for our team. We don't do that. We hold a tryout. Usually it's a word of mouth that spreads. We put one advertisement out, but otherwise it's a word of mouth thing, and we get a lot of that. And there are just as many kids that want to learn how to play baseball at an elite level or at a high intensity level to prepare for high school or prepare for their upcoming seasons, to learn more about the game. And why go out there and tell these kids, no, I don't want you to come play for me. I want this kid to come play for me because he throws harder than you.
Well, maybe some other coaches are going to be tempted by that. Should we be worried?
I agree. I think coaches out there, I think we should be worried, period, anyways, because there's a like I said, there are those coaches that go out there and recruit the best of the best, but then that leaves everybody else that wants to play on the wayside, and everybody wants to learn, and my goal as a coach is to teach everybody that wants to learn the game, whatever level that they play at, and to be able to perform and exceed at that level.
Now, but as coaches move up the ranks, it becomes their job to produce winning programs. And should coaches consider using this tool and this instrument to identify who's going to be the best profile? I mean, I use the combines as an extreme example of me going through those tests, to try it. But they give the Wonderlic. I mean, they give lots of other measures that help to kind of separate out athletes and whatnot. Should this be something that coaches, as it gets more competitive, that they consider?
I don't doubt that it might go there one day as maybe testing gets a little more specific, not so general, number one, and then secondly, I mean, everybody's going to have their prototypical, shortstop. Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, 6'3", 185, 200 pounds, hits for power, hits for average, is speedy, got good hands.
Yeah.
But
by that point, we don't need the test to tell us this, right?
Well, besides that, for every Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez out there that's this big, then what do you do with the David Ecksteins of the world? And David Eckstein is 5'8", 5'9", very generously. And the guy goes out there and he hustles. He performs. He's been a World Series MVP. He's hit 3 home runs in a game. I mean, David Eckstein has done things